especially bottom lane. Bottom lane is going to be so volatile here. So let's track Malrong's early pathing here on the Jarvan. Because you definitely want to be able to support that Lucian Nami into the Kalista set.
So Blue Gromp Red, you're saying, is a likely path here. Level 3 Jarvan to the bottom lane. On to Summoner's Rift here for the first game of the day. The LEC has gone 0-6 so far in week 2. Rogue, though, are undefeated, hoping to break the curse. Non-sequitur, don't forget to link your league account with Prime Gaming to receive free digital goodies. Much like Rogue, might receive some free digital goodies courtesy of GAM.
And one of these things that has become pretty common for a lot of these junglers looking for the early path, start out with the control ward. Malrong has done it here on the Jarvan, so he's definitely not going to go for a power clear, a full clear. Let's see what he can do to try and open up with this early control ward. Right now, very defensive opening, watching the entry points here for Rogue. And we have the recall. So Trimbia has placed Trinket Ward and Tri-Brush, immediately went back, got the sweeper for bottom lane as well to be able to get that side brush control cleared out.
And not only is it important to make sure that you keep track of Malrong to maybe shadow him if you are Levi to ensure that your bot lane can actually play far forward, as I've seen this one before, GAM.
And it is not spotted by any wards in, so a late track, this is by the time Lucian would normally leave, and oh, Comp, he's gonna get vision. Just sees that they're walking over, goes, okay, I'm out. Trinket Ward is not spotted by Comp himself, but that red buff is taken.
This is intelligent from GAM, though, to do a red buff late invade like this versus Malrong versus a Jarvan. You know this champion wants to go for early ganks. Trimby has the vision through the Tri-Brush, though, gets a little bit of splash damage and stacks up the Spell Thief.
So I think one of the strengths of the Renekton is that even in a matchup that is rough, like Into the Gnar, he is very self-sufficient as Malrong. He's not
Smite was saved by Levi. Smite was saved. EQ combo gonna get a lot of it. Most of the camp is taken, but Smite still goes through to the Graves, who's leashed heavily enough. He's able to save it and get rid of some of that gold. Malrong indeed is gonna be towards the bottom lane, but I'm not sure Krugs will be enough to get to level 3.
Yeah, really good denial start here for GAM, utilizing the power of this Graves early. Malrong, there were 3 wards here through the red side jungle, so GAM know he's fishing around for something, and Kati comes back to get a little bit of a peek.
I mean, he for sure saw that ward, right? I feel like he had to see the trinket, but apparently he didn't. Gets knocked into the air, 200 HP. I mean, he can blast plan away, he's always gonna live. But burns Ghost, wait, he... Okay.
He's going back.
He's fine, I guess. I guess he's trying to burn time. I don't know. Levi is taking the left side jungle.
Very nicely done. It looked a little bit dicey there if Malrong is able to get the kill, but now you just waste time. Scotty, only thing it costs you is your Ghost. Now we're going to be a little low as Silent BA going in here maybe, but I don't know if they want to take the risk. Dive possibility here maybe for the bot side of Rogue.
This will be the 4th camp that Levi takes away from the opposing jungle. He should be able to smite this, or does he want to be the fifth?
Flash gun Renekton?
Yeah, he wants to go for the rest of this one. Empower stuff for Renekton. Make sure you target the champions properly. Jumps over. Flash for the autos. The turret cannot block it. Levi has lived the entire game in Rogue's jungle.
Huge team effort to be able to sculpt this jungle difference for GAM. They make much better use this time with their Graves pick. Levi, delayed invade on bottom side, bully Malrong out, keep vision on him, track him with the bottom lane as well, and the mid laner. Everybody on GAM doing their part to get the information advantage and allow for that topside dive.
And it's awesome to see the plan actually working out for GAM, because you go back to those last week early game plays that they tried to set up. None of them really worked out, but now, if you look, they've been able to build a sizable lead here for Levi.
Yeah, and I will say, while Levi is happy and Levi gets that first blood, mid lane paid a bit of a price there.
Yeah.
With the Ghost down, with the Predator used on early as well, down significant amount of CS here, and health versus Larson. And remember, the big star on the Rogue comp is going to be this Azir. This Azir, if left untouched, is going to scale into a monster.
Well, Malrong does not get spotted on his way up there. That Scuttle will never see that path. He's also not walking through any wards as well, so may just kind of make the play. Thing is, you expect the bottom camps to be mostly up. That's kind of the expectation of where Jarvan might be. But he's far enough away that a nice defensive flag gives a little more vision to Odo as he walks up for the combo right as Jarvan left the lane. I don't believe he had any info, but happens to guess it correctly. Levi going to be here to help clear the wave away, but really just poach a bunch of XP from this Gallia, who's having a completely horrible time here. Kadi getting just destroyed by Larson in lane.
Yeah, definitely needs the help to push out the wave to be able to get the recall off. No more potion charges left, no more nothing there, so no teleport means gonna need a little bit of extra help. Larson pushes up to make sure that he's actually going back right now, and then lets the wave kind of linger here.
It's already his second Rico as well. He had to Rico earlier, picked himself up the Dark Seal to try and stay in lane at least a little bit longer. But overall, the sacrifice that has been made has been that Galio. And without level 6, I think you do lose a lot of the skirmishing power. So more agency for Levi, but he should actually be able to turn it into something. It looks like the Dragon has been started up here. And with bot lane also getting pushed in, should be a first Drake here for GAM. Malrang is going to spot it.
You know what's going on. Bot lane could move pretty soon, but will they have enough time to do anything? He has a blast plant. He can always EQ out. He can always flash if needed as well. They've got a Galio, though, and you can see the Nami's walking up. With Renstacks coming in, it's going to be harder and harder to steal. And it looks like there's enough pressure that's going to be claimed. Smite goes through. GAM gets the first Drake.
And the threat of the Galio, even when he is this far behind, doesn't have his ultimate. The roam from KD means that, at the very least, Rogue don't want to take the risk here, and I think they don't have to. Looking at the team composition, I think you feel perfectly comfortable giving up a couple of early objectives as long as you don't fall too far behind in terms of gold.
Comp jumps in for some damage, and honestly, Style takes the worst end of that trade. Really happy to play it, even Levi's behind him. Malrang is here as well, not on vision as the Jarvan. Ooh, that bubble could have signaled the fight starting right now. Jarvan, at least, still unseen walking up as you've got to roam for the Galio top side here as well. Odwamba without TP, but has a Mega Gnar bar, means there's no dive top side. Misjudging the resources there, and it means that it's some alone time here. The mid-roam is punished. Connie, this is an entire wave and nearly a plate.
Exactly. The unseen threat is actually the deadliest. While the camera's on all these side lanes and these skirmishes, Larssen continues to farm up. 60 CS here for the Azir in mid lane, constantly pushing in. Half a turret plate worn down, as well as Malrang trying to get him some vision, gets the Scuttle Crab on bottom side.
But more poke, half HP now on the Galio. He got a wave, and half his health bar is gone. There's only a last chapter. It gets worse from here as Larssen keeps stacking up. He's going to try yet again, at least this time with some honey fruit. Lamna going to be on a recall. Easy to call that he has walked away, and indeed, gonna maybe drop a wave here as he gets his health bar back up.
And a lane that we haven't talked about as much, that has been happening mostly in isolation, with Malrang threatening a little bit early on and Levi mostly spending his half on the top side of the map, has been that bot lane. Comp and Trimby are feeling extremely comfortable. They're able to build up a sizable CS lead, not really getting threatened. And I do think that with a pick like this set especially, if you don't find any early laning leads, or at the very least find something around the Herald or early skirmish, fighting into this Lucian Nami, the later stage of the game, will become very, very tough.
Yeah, Comp and Trimby, one of the least hyped parts about Rogue, but have been performing so incredibly well here at Worlds. Trimby on the Recon game, as well as a lot of these aggressive duo lane matchups that they have chosen throughout this group stage.
Still a pretty tight game right now. Scaling does feel like it's on Rogue's favor here. The Azir is just going to be a massive menace in the late game. Gold pretty close thanks to the first blood, but better farming on the Rogue side. The one Drake puts GAM ahead, but doesn't mean a whole ton. So out of come move speed certainly can matter for the roaming plays. The Galio wants to, obviously. Malrang walks by his own blue, says, nah, it's actually going to be maybe the chance at a Rift Hero play, but first I'm going to walk towards top lane. Does get spotted, of course, put his own ward down, so Kiaya knows about that one. Plate goes down to the mid lane. Larssen still crushing this lane. 81 to 50 in CS, 31 CS, and a turret plate, and a level. Not going to go for any kind of a flash taunt play there. Larssen, it would have always been okay. Going to shuffle that afterwards.
Man, always needing to call jungle to help push out this wave for the Galio. At least he's level 6 now. So first Galio ultimate play. GAM trying to force a little bit now.
Get rid of the ward already. Wow, he's already got the Armble Blade here on Levi's side. The first blood. Look at that one. Flashlight comes in. Very good cleanse out of Comp. The punch is okay. Keep in mind, Style is 6. They cannot all in onto the set. Wanted to find a good target, but Trimby is blocking, and they know if you stun the Nami, Lucian will kill everyone. So a defensive ult, kind of on both sides.
And they're going to get so much more out of this on the side of Rogue. Comp and Trimby can now push in on that bottom turret, get turret plates, while Malrang clears out a lot of this vision around the Rift Herald. See about the fight here, though. It also means if there was a Rift Herald plan for GAM, they have to cancel it now, because their bottom lane would have to go all the way back to Fountain to heal back up before they could actually come to the fight. Bottom lane dominance there for the Rogue duo.
He's up on both sides. Yeah. Hey, one. Thank you very much. Watch for the fog.
DY4 leash.
Yeah.
Malrang's able to get it and then slides over to the Rift Herald. Let's see, does he have another charge coming up? He does. He had saved up 2 charges of the Smite, so he could use one on the red buff, as well as now getting this Rift Herald, knowing that his bottom lane, again, gives him priority because they won the 2v2 health on bottom side they get to roam first.
And you got to be taking this fight. You can't give up a Rift Herald with a composition like this. GAM is in position.
Big might have been able to flash the Q is the ball. He is the ball. The ult missed as well. It's going to be going to Rogue, at least the kill itself. The eye might not be there. Top's not going to be in range. Despite Kati having a flash,
they're going back in for it.
W. There's the Malrung engage. Jumps right back out. Dunked it by the set. What a huge haymaker! And GAM Esports now 3-0 in the game. Odoamna would love the eye, but it's going to despawn.
And such an important fight for GAM, because this is the point where your composition spikes. Rogue think, thus far we've been able to match, we've been able to read them very well, but they overstep and lose Malrung.
They certainly do! What was that re-engage? They have no timing there. No Meganar to go in to follow it up, and GAM just ripped them apart.
And with that, they're also going to get a second Drake. And I think now, with that mistake, Rogue has given GAM an actual way to keep a foothold in this game. If you can get to Soul Point very early on, you can force Rogue to fight 3 item spikes in an awkward position. Rogue, though, doesn't want to give it over.
Malrung does have EQ and Smite. Rend into... Nice, okay, good timing there. Yeah, Stog gets to 800.
Oh.
But will there be an engage? Malrung would love this fight. Doesn't have his own ulti. Shuffle comes in. What a flash sets up two! Larson doesn't want to win the mid lane. He wants to win the entire damn game!
Larson comes in, the big Azir. That should be the carry of this team later as Malrung transitions through the disappearing terrain there with the arrival of the Infernal Rift. My goodness, though, Larson said, okay, this is how you go for an engage in that play. Here's another look at the Rift Trail, though, as it went down 17 health as they were able to get it, but then all the Rogue members had to get out of there, flash away.
And they're out. And then they go back in.
Yeah, and you've got a mini Gnar, and Larson is smoke screened. I think maybe the communication there was like, hey, Malrung engage, and Larson would follow it up there with the engage, but the Azir was smoke screened, so he was completely blind in the play, and then it's just Malrung going in by himself, while Odo goes up to the top side as a mini Gnar. They're completely disjointed, so here they make up for it. Larson goes in. This is how you get the engage done.
And these exit kills are really important because it prevents that snowball, right? Getting the extra stats from the Drake already are a big boon for GAM, and if they're able to just get that objective for free, get it back in, and then start roaming out on the map looking for side lane plays or collapses with this Galio.
I think you hit the nail on the head there with the win cons for GAM, though, because they have to stack these dragons, you know?
You got
This is a ball comp. They're very short range. It is a stack dragons, or else we are going to be in big trouble later. They do not siege well. They do not do much else well except group up around those neutral objectives and get those fat engages.
It's a blue buff steal, though. Malrung's around, though. Galio, of course, could be here. Jumps back in, gets hit by the wall, though. Wants the taunt, and that'll buy some time. The stopwatch is burned. He's actually going to be nearsighted there as well. A shuffle backwards, gets away from Larson. B is around. Kati does have flash, but his W should still be on cooldown. Cannot find his way in.
Nice juke there from Levi. Kind of scary as Larson had just gotten the Luden's Echo power spike here for Azir, so could have been a lot of damage there. Avoids certain death.
And overall, that's a favorable trade for GAM because it means that in a subsequent fight, maybe for example around that possible soul point, Malrung won't have the stopwatch available anymore to go for more high-risk engages without the risk of him getting blown up.
Nice, looking to the top side right now. Down about 6 camps, but will it matter if you can win the 2v1 with Odoamna? Gets the ulti off in time, and a power Q for Kia. Goes for the stun. She might be on cooldown. Heals up, and it's still going to be a kill. Levi needs to find this one back, but Meganar for Odo. Can he make it happen? The Q comes through, but can he fight a Meganar? Does not dodge the Q himself. Levi gonna dodge around. Stun's gonna land. Galio, and a flash away. Odoamna gets his kill, but hang on though, because it's a 2v1. 2v2 now. Here comes a cross set. Tidal wave is perfect by Trippy, but a flash ignite finds the kill. Next taunt's gotta be up pretty soon, but he's gonna get out.
Oh, there's no counterplay to a flash ignite. Set comes in, takes down Odo. Trinity forces complete him as he dies at his back end base, though. Wow, the skirmish here on top side never stops.
And again, I argue with no flash on the Gnar, Odo's potential in the next fight will be somewhat diminished. Initially, this looks like a really nice setup. They're actually able to kill the Renekton before that sustain does come through. But I think playing into a Galio comp, going for really aggressive skirmishes like this is always going to feel like a risk. Although we do see that in the end, just a second too late.
God, Odo was perfect there. He literally hit every spell for a minute straight in this skirmish on the top side, and that allowed him to barely get the kill onto Levi. In the end, though, nothing he could do about the flash ignite, and it is answered here for GAM. Keeping the pace of this game so quick that you have to keep track of these Dragon timers. 52 seconds on the clock. That is imperative.
I think pretty crucial is the fact that there's Odorama going in for a play. He's got teammates around. Malron coming around, be the same. Style could be the kill. They keep minus Meganon. It's not an easy fight here. He's going to try for the front line. Lands the stun into the knockup, and there's the wombo combo. Settles backwards. This could be a kill to Odo, who doesn't have escape tools. Taunt's going to land. They'll find that kill, but Levi's caught alone. Levi over the wall, and a calling takes him down. Comp makes it a 4v3 on the map.
That is huge for Rogue. It's a disaster for GAM because we're 20 seconds away from the Dragon. Rogue can now try and stop that Dragon stacking. Levi, 20 seconds. The jungler for GAM will be in base.
And if you can keep Levi alive, I think that's a good trade for GAM. Styles so weak, just finished his Immortal Shield though. He doesn't have anything to offer besides making sure that Set can actually play the game, but with Levi getting caught off, really nice pick there by Rogue. I think that possibility of a really early Drake, a really early Soul Point being available for GAM no longer on the table.
They're gonna get this Drake. I think GAM realizing finally they do have to back up this one. They've got Callista back in the map, and still no jungler. Spy fight will not be there, and Rogue, you see, sitting on a 700 gold lead, and now their first Drake of the game.
EU fans can breathe their first sigh of relief here. I think that big window, that big pressure point has just been avoided. Of course, it is going to be a long run towards the end, but this GAM composition that they've drafted in this game is very short range, does not scale very well.
The one thing that Rogue does have to take into account with compositions like this is that a single misposition, even if you are, in terms of 5v5, I think vastly superior in the later stage of the game, still need to respect that Galio. KT thus far hasn't had the biggest impact, but if you misposition at any point in time, as we kind of saw here initially, as Odo feels very confident, has Malron on the way as well, and I think initially this play looks very, very good. It's the teleport that's the big difference maker here.
Yeah, Odo hits the wall up into the Gnar ultimate, getting the 1-for-1 here, best out of a bad situation. GAM with the collapse. Biggest thing, of course, was Levi getting picked off as he gets bubbled here. They're right back on the offensive.
Tribulan's really good crowd control, keeps Comp safe, who doesn't have to run a single summoner spell, just the Nami tidal wave. And Gnar on the way down, a full bar for Odo. He can be pretty useful here. This will not quite kill the entire turret, but it will put it down. Oh, actually it does. I'm surprised. It has just enough of the charge, but I think no one got local turret gold.
At the very least, they'll be able to open up the map, and getting down that mid lane turret, giving yourself the opportunity to maybe find a flank with something like Renekton. Get back line access, because thus far I think Comp, especially with summoners up, is basically impossible to kill.
Now the game becomes, can Rogue sustain? Uh-oh.
They're going to find the first time, pretty good damage. They're locked in place, and Levi gets his third kill.
As we're about to pose the question, can Rogue keep these side lanes under control while avoiding getting collapsed on? Nope, the brush play from GAM catches them by surprise. They pick off the side lane here. Odo down, then push on the turret as well.
Probably a trade of turret at this point. You can see bot lane, of course, outer already dropped, but top lane going to be attacked. And all this gold is basically going to Levi. You can see how often he is essentially taking the gold and XP sort of from his mid laner, I guess. Yeah, Graves is the bigger carry than Galio, right? I'm not saying this is like a bad set of resource allocation, but it does mean that you've got a pretty small mid laner.
I thought you were going to ask for him to buy a support item. That's what I was waiting for.
Give me a relic shield, buddy.
I mean, these are the roots of GAM. You know, when they made the most spectacular splash on the international scene, it was turbo feeding jungle. It was always about funneling into jungle. Then it was the Nocturne, earliest level 6 in competitive play for a jungler. This time around, it is the Graves, the premier carry jungle of the tournament. Levi trying to soak up as much as he can.
While all of this chaos has been happening, though, we checked in to Larson about 10, 15 minutes ago, maybe, when he was sitting at 60 CS at 6 minutes, about to hit 200. Completely happy, unbothered, 2 items, sword pen boots done as well, and especially with that Drake being given over to Rogue, I think the game just gets so much harder for GAM as they look for an engage.
Right, again, onto Larson. They get a slow, but not enough for the rest of it. Kadi Forced out yet again, so much damage there. Of course, B can tank it, can always be Callisto ulted away. But this full flat pen build out of Azir, he's the only meaningful magic damage threat on his team. No one else wants to buy MR, and he is going to deal true damage to everyone.
And Comp with the massive ulti, getting the health bars of both the Galio and the set just chunked out, gives them this amount of control. Just look at Summoner's Rift right now. Stealing away the blue, taking down the second outer tower here in mid lane, and just opening up this jungle for counter jungling opportunities.
And it's really tough for GAM because they have to play that far forward. They can't afford to just sit back. As already pointed out, they can't really siege. And if they're second to objectives, for Rogue, it's so easy to just throw a culling or have Larson poke for a couple of seconds. And at that point, it's looking much stronger.
Yeah, for GAM to shine now, they just have to split engage.
Just kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Don't leave any time for Rogue to poke you out, to hit you with one of those cullings. Just go for the snap engage, get to the back line, try and take down the Azir as quickly as possible. And that being said, Comp as well, going to be very dangerous to deal with. Since he's got the cleanse splash in this one, you need more engage opportunities on the back line.
All right, Drake is in 30. Gold's still pretty close. The item spikes are what matters here. There is no stopwatch on the mid lane side for GAM. In fact, there's none anywhere on the right side inventory. Larson has one, though. Larson has flash. We saw how big his play was last time he had it in the bottom river. It feels like the backline carries of Rogue are just gigantic, each with 2 full items. That's where my eyes are. Can somehow there be an outplay on GAM's side?
All right, this is what I want to see. The support here. Yeah, can we get the engage? 2 kills for himself. Gets a really early turbo chem tank, maybe with that speed. Ultimate in, get the Galio combo with set. That big AoE is what GAM are hoping for.
Ooh, and you got to find both. You can't just get Larson or Comp. Need to somehow get both of them. I think the Dragon is already gone.
But can there be a team fight afterwards? Maybe they get the battle instead. Drake will be claimed. Is there a team fight is the question. Every single one, except the Nami, can jump the wall. Odo's the front, but everyone else is dashed away, so it's a... I mean, I take that every day of the week. A Drake for a single flash. That's great from Rogue.
It's perfect.
Oh, and a kill! And a kill, almost. It's Style forced a flash away to stay alive.
Double summoners blown there by Style by GAM. The surprised Teemo face there from Comp, not exactly surprised as they get Dragon number 2 and they continue to increase their volume of control across this map, rotating up towards the top side by that Baron, dropping all the wards.
And I think a core issue with the GAM team composition, if you don't build a substantial lead early, which they were able to match Rogue, sure, but the actual hard engage outside of straight up throwing BA into multiple people is pretty lackluster. You're going to be looking for either a flank, making sure that Renekton or Set can actually get into the enemy backline, but with how well Rogue have been playing in terms of vision and in terms of respecting, GAM just don't seem to find any openings here.
Well, they're going to have to force an opening if they want to win this game then.
But how?
You got to group up, go through Fog of War, and just run at them.
Just kill them.
Yeah.
Just run.
Can't wait.
Run through the darkness. It is the only hope.
Through Nami and Azir, zoning you out, slowing you the whole way through. It's going to be a tough one. We'll see if GAM can find their way in. Technically, elimination not found for GAM with the loss. You can do the big, I believe, 2-4 3-way tie and have Rogue go 6-0. It's the exact same route that I believe it was Evil Geniuses had the last time around. And similarly, Rogue don't technically lock either, as there can be a big 3-way tie at 4-2. But obviously, winning helps in either case. You never are set poorly by a win. So Rogue looking good in this one. Winning good, yeah.
Thank you.
This is why I'm a play-by-play. My analysis skills are that deep.
I'm very happy.
Oh, Levi, yoink! All right, we get at least a little bit. You got to count every win. The small ones here, taking away the red buff, taking away the Raptors. And they are grouped up looking for the charge through the river.
Narwhal spots it, though. Knows what's going on. He's like, yeah, cool. You're near me. That's nice. Hang on, man. I'm still going to bodyguard this. Your CC is not that big of a surprise. It's slow.
Comp is also a full item ahead of Callista right now. This Lucian does so much damage. The culling.
Ow. Yep. 2/3 now on set. And it's Rogue once again bullying their way through the map.
It's the poke, right? It's even Naris poking. Odo Amne is just throwing out those auto attacks, throwing out the boomerang, getting hyperprocs, and every single time we see GAM go forward, someone gets chunked to half. And there is a teleport.
Flank. This is the play. Now Comp could be targeted. Gale forces out. Flash is still up. And no one gets onto him. A tidal wave out. Saves the big summoner spells, the important thing. Only low cooldowns are gone.
Still going.
Yeah, he's gonna get the top backwards into the root. A lot of damage to the front line. Malrang, but a TP. Sorry, flash away. Kiaya gets hysteric spot, and now self ults. Get ready for the rest of it. Yeah, Larson is coming down. They need to ult him away. He's got to live somehow. The shield comes in, a flash backwards. Time built by Galio. It's a shutdown, but it's a 1-for-1. A flash away, but here's big Meganar. Finds his stun, gets the combo. Style stays live for a second, but not any longer than that. Say goodbye to GAM Esports in this game because Rogue is here.
Rogue are able to kite out the initial engage, and they're going to run straight for Baron after that one.
Rogue read them like a book. Malrang dead, no problem whatsoever. He draws out so many cooldowns. Comp, as you pointed out, Freak, didn't even have to use the summoners when they tried to go for a flank TP. In the subsequent fight, it's just GAM desperately trying to make this composition work, but it's not gonna happen.
Now they happen to wait out the seconds required for their mid laner or their jungler to respawn. Baron claimed by Trimby's Nami. Odo will not get this kill, I don't think. You got a set coming around, but still, it is a 5-person Baron buff, and Rogue completely in control of this one.
Exactly, and then with the Baron-empowered recall here, they can reset and have plenty of time to get their control wards, move it back out, get that Dragon number 3 for themselves, and not give a single neutral objective over to GAM. Here's the overchase here through the jungle, but as we said, GAM don't have a lot of options.
They have to throw everything into whichever target is available. Malrang goes for a flash, and this looks good because Larson isn't actually there yet. He's not doing any damage.
Now is the moment they realize. They're like, oh, no, run away.
Oh, no, he's coming. We have to get out of there, but they're not able to.
Exactly. You get the 1-for-1, but the Galio ultimate being used says, Odo Wamne, I've got a clear spot. Right in there, flashes, ult style against the wall, follows up with the wall up, and then Larson can sweep in. No danger on the Azir. They pick up every last little bit of gold on the map, and now they're back out to Dragon. You can see in the mini-map here on the bottom side.
That looks like desperation. I don't know how you win this fight against Baron buff here as well, but they might try. Blast plan over. Smite not going to happen there for Levi. Dunk onto Many. Will he find the stun? Yes, a bit. Stopwatch, no, pulled back in by Callista. This team fight not going to happen. Actually jumps back away, and that means they've got infinite target access, and Style goes down. And they're going to go for the cleanup. The question is how many more does Rogue kill? The bubble lands perfectly after the ward goes down. A stun comes across. Levi gets the kill on a Trimby, but you got the back line engaged still there. Pick up on the Renekton. There's a shuffle on a 2. The punch doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. And it's Rogue up 13-9.
They're gonna remain undefeated, all right. Rogue chasing down Galio now. Can they find the last one?
At this point, go for the execute. Nope, he's dead.
Not happening. Meanwhile, mid and bot, we see the push in. Odo Omne and Comp both making their way over, and you gotta give credit to GAM. They get to try, but Rogue is just way too far ahead, both in terms of reading the game plan from GAM, as well as this position, their item composition, so much stronger.
And when they finish out this game, Rogue, this does so much for them. The heroes of the LEC here, moving up to 4 wins, a premier spot in this group.
More gold onto Larson here as well. Rebel Baron power play, 6,000 gold. A good smite there from Malrang.
And I want to highlight how much Trimby did in this fight, because he hit so many key bubbles that meant that the rest of his team had so much more space. Hit the one there as the attempt of engage came through. Gonna hit another one here on Katie, who is trying to set up a hero Galio play, maybe looking for a multi-man taunt. Not going to be the case. Gets cancelled, and Rogue played out slow and cleanly. Yeah, they give up Trimby to the Renekton. It happens.
One sacrifice for each team fight. Last time it was Malrang, this time around Trimby. Rogue will pick them all up. They clean the map completely, and they've reset already, looking to finish the job. Mid lane inhibitors already open, so they've got easy access.
It's how you make sure you get full credit for your team fight, because if everyone gets an assist, you know, their death score, right, you know, they're back to 300 gold value. So, you know, it ensures your team fights are worth the maximum amount of gold possible, so I think it's very, very smart.
Optimization.
Sacrifice. Very good. Sacrifice one person worth 450 gold, and you end up getting probably at least that much back, with everyone else getting, you know, 50 more gold on their kill.
I like it.
Yeah. Time to close the game out
I
here for Rogue.
appreciate the creativity,
Yeah.
because it's not looking good for GAM.
It is not, and it's looking worse now. Levi nearly dies. Okay, we got a flash play in here to set, find much to set up. Is look for a bit more. Everyone's out of range now. Malrong not an easy target. Looking for the root, looking for the flash taunt. You're gonna catch exactly one. A turret went down. Kaya wants the backline. He can't find it. Sterix pop finds a stun. Gets a quick heal, still dies. Comp is godlike indeed. Finds a double legendary for the Lucian.
Comp is just untouchable. No matter how much they throw at him, they can't get to him.
And the reason is Malrung walks in and he blocks the Callista ultimate. Great block from him, the bodyguard. Then Larson came in and he shoved off. He zoned the entire backline away, chasing down the remnants once again, and Rogue are gonna finish it.
Finally, a win on the board for the LEC in the second week, and more than just that, Rogue are 4-0. Rogue are dominating their group here at Worlds as they will close down one last bit of KDA. They will take the Nexus and they will go 4-0 in the group.